back on the ice and spoke to reporters. We'll have all the news about that, plus the Islanders signing a few players to minor league contracts, and these players will come in handy down in Bridgeport.
You're Locked On Islanders, your daily podcast on the New York Islanders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Gil Martin here, everybody. Ready to talk Islanders hockey on the Locked On Islanders podcast. Hope everybody is having a good day as we head into the weekend. And again, don't forget that we will be back to a 5 days a week schedule starting on Monday. So we're always looking forward to that. Training camp getting underway next week, and we will have all the latest news, notes, and happenings from Islanders training camp right here on the Locked On Islanders podcast. Today, Anders Lee was back on the ice, spoke to reporters. We'll talk a little bit about how that went. Plus, we will look at some of the players the Islanders signed to some minor league contracts, and these are guys who really can help the Bridgeport Sound Tigers, now the Bridgeport Islanders. It's going to take a little while to get used to that, but I think it's overall a good change. And right now, the Islanders, I am excited to see so close right now to start. Who are this season's top NHL players? Find out on the Locked On NHL podcast. Joe DiBiase, Mike DiStefano, and Rachel Donner reveal the top 50 players as voted on by our local experts across the Locked On NHL network of podcasts. Subscribe to the Locked On NHL podcast on YouTube and turn on your notifications so that you never miss an episode. And don't forget also are on YouTube now. So if you want to watch this episode instead of just listening to it, check us out on YouTube. We are there and very excited about that new. It unfolds because, wow, a new event. So if you have something Islanders related on your mind, a question, a comment, a topic that you'd like us to talk about, feel free to email the show. The email address, lockedonislanders@gmail.com. And if you leave your first name and where you're from, we're happy to mention you on the show when we talk about whatever it is that's on your mind. You can also follow the show on Twitter at Locked On Isles, and you can follow me, Gil Martin, on Twitter at Ice Wars, NYRVSNYI, and we'll keep you up to date on all the latest Islanders news, notes, and happenings throughout training camp, any trades, any rumors, all of it up until the start of the season, which, believe it or not, is now less than a month away. Time really does fly, doesn't it? Shortest offseason, I think, in NHL history. Certainly one of them, if it's not the ultimate one. So, again, I think that is something to look forward to. The Islanders added 5 players. They signed them to 2-way contracts, but realistically, I would say all of these players are going to be spending the year with the Bridgeport Islanders. And I am about because look, I've been following Bridgeport over the last few years, understands that teams names, and you bring some veterans like a player the Islanders have signed, and you improve the chances of your minor league team playing well. And that means something because you, in the minor leagues, you want to do a number of things. There's always sort of that balance in the AHL between winning teams and developing players. And you want to do both ideally, and you want to teach the players who are in your minor league system, especially those who are prospects, to learn the system that your NHL team is playing. So you want the AHL and the NHL team to be playing a similar system. so that everything that, they learn can easily be transferred if and when these guys get called up. So here are the 5 players that the Islanders signed, and I think these are solid signings from an Islanders organizational perspective. First off, Cole Bardreau, he signs a 2-year, 2-way deal. If he's in the NHL, he'll have a $750,000 cap hit. In fact, that's true of all 5 players who signed deals. And we know Bardreau. He was with the Islanders for part of the 2019-2020 season, scored his first NHL goal on that exciting penalty shot. It was, to me, from a strictly emotional standpoint, of a guy you want to root for, Cole Bardreau, who had, worked his way through the minor leagues for so many years, finally came up, got his chance, got his first goal, scoring on the penalty shot. It also turned out to be the game-winning goal that came against the Ottawa Senators. And overall, just a great moment. So Cole Bardreau back with Bridgeport, happy about that. Otto Koivula, he signed a 1-year, 2-way deal. Again, the $750,000 price tag if he does not, if he comes up to the Islanders. And Koivula, again, the kind of guy who can help your team. Still not ready to give up on Otto Koivula as a prospect. The kind of player who I think, can be a benefit to the Islanders. Talked about how the Islanders are at forward right now. Just turned 23, had 12 games with the Islanders, certainly can do more. Last year, 2 goals, 9 assists in 20 games with Bridgeport. Give him another season at Bridgeport. Maybe he becomes part of a trade if that is the way the Islanders prefer to go. But I think that is a good signing and to the Bridgeport Islanders roster, some scoring punch and gives him a chance. You add a defenseman in Paul Leduc. Earlier this week, he's a big guy, 200 pounds, former 6th-round pick by the Kings, the University of North Dakota alum, has 59 NHL games, all with the goals, 18 points. He gives you experience on the blue line. We know that Bridgeport has been lacking in recent years, and so you get that with Dew. And that's a good thing. Dmytro Timashov, a 1-year deal, also 2-way, $750,000. We talked about Timashov last year on the show. Again, one of those guys who you can plug in for a few games at the NHL level and not worry what he's going to do, that he's going to hurt your team if called on. So, for a short duration, he can certainly be a benefit. And I am glad to see that they inked him and brought him back. And then the final player who the Islanders signed, Andy Andreoff, a 1-year, 2-way deal. Hopefully Andreoff can contribute. The Bridgeport Islanders should win more hockey games as a result of these 5 signings. So we're happy about those, and hopefully they work out well. Today's episode is brought to you by Fantrax. All right, hockey fans, now I'm going to give you the inside track on fantasy hockey. It's Fantrax. Fantrax free NHL Fantasy Hockey League Manager is the most customizable, easy-to-use, and feature-rich platform in the industry. Sign up for free today, and as a special offer for Locked On Islanders fans, you'll be entered to win an official NHL signed Nathan MacKinnon jersey. Just go to fantrax.com/lockedon and sign up. The top dynasty fantasy hockey platform in the industry, Fantrax is the most customizable fantasy platform offering the greatest fantasy experience for your dynasty, keeper, redraft, and best ball leagues. Go deep with the ultimate keeper and dynasty leagues. Create a simple redraft league or even a customizable best ball league with up to 2,000 teams. Coming from another service, Fantrax can import any of your current leagues and customize if needed. Ever have a trade go wrong or make a mistake dropping a player? If you've had leagues on Yahoo or ESPN, migrate to Fantrax for a better experience. Fantrax commissioner tools allow you to undo any move with one simple click. And they're among the most trusted names in fantasy sports since 2008, offering hockey, football, baseball, basketball, college football, golf, soccer, and NASCAR. If there's anything lacking in your fantasy league manager, Fantrax likely has it. So for a chance to win your free Nathan McKinney jersey, simply go to fantrax.com/lockedon and sign up today. That's fantrax.com/lockedon. Fantrax, the home of fantasy sports. Today's episode is also brought to you by DirecTV Stream. Does this sound familiar? You got one device that lets you catch the game live, another that lets you stream your favorite shows, and you're watching sports highlights on your phone, and you've got your neighbor's friend's best log on for the good stuff. Well, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle, and it's a great way to finally get your TV together. It's called DirecTV Stream, and it brings your live TV on-demand favorites together like never before, so you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes, no need to buy another device ever again, and the best part, there's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You could learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package. So Anders Lee was back on the ice today. It was more or less part of NHL's annual media tour for players, but how good was it to see Anders Lee back on the ice for the first time in 6 months? Lee tore his ACL back in March, and as far as he's concerned, he should be ready to go when training camp opens next week. Lee was quoted as saying, "The recovery has gone as planned, and we're still on track for everything to be done and finished off the right way. I'm looking forward to camp to make sure that happens." And so, look, Lee, excited. It was great to see him out there. He is the Islanders captain. That means more than just the fact that he's one of their better goal scorers, that he's a key to the power play, that he's got great size. The bottom line is Anders Lee is a leader. He is sort of the spiritual glue that helps hold this team together, and it is very good to see Anders Lee back there. And Lee mentioned that he was excited about the new UBS arena. His quote, "All of us players have been keeping tabs on the building, and we've been looking forward to this for a long time. Getting in there in November will be an incredible time for everyone involved, and everyone is working to get this building put together. Our space," meaning the team facilities, "will be really nice, but you look at the building, and for us being on the ice, the fans are going to be right on top of you. There are a lot of cool things this building has to offer, and it'll create a great atmosphere for the team." So no question, Anders Lee excited about the new arena, and he is ready to go. He also had something to say about the season starting with 13 road games. He said, "You just have to overcome and go play. To get on the road early is good to be with the guys and spend extra time together on the road. At the end of the day, it is what it is, and no matter what, the guys will be ready to go for each night. We're kind of looking at this season and approaching it like it's back to normal and a regular year. It'll be nice to travel and see some teams we haven't seen in a long time and have that regular schedule that we are used to." So Anders Lee excited, and there's no question about that. And Lee also excited about the offseason that this franchise has had. "Everyone involved," he said, "from top to bottom, has put a lot of effort to get to this point and to make this a place where people don't want to leave. I don't think there's a better place in the NHL to play, so we're all, as players, in agreement there. And right off the top, you're starting in a good place." They're trying to also, Lee, not sure who's going to replace Jordan Eberle on his line, and he's certainly going to miss Eberle. But he said, look, as far as who's going to be on his line with Matthew Barzal and himself, that's what camp and preseason is for, and hopefully this thing slides in easily, and I think it will. We'll figure it out right away, and it will be a great year. Lee, also quite excited about the arrival of Zach Parise. Zach's game speaks for itself, Lee told reporters. All the deep runs he's had in Jersey, the long career he's had, whether it's playing in the Olympics or anything in between, he's a veteran that knows what to do, how to do it, and I'm looking forward to being his teammate. So just some thoughts from Anders Lee. As part of the NHL's media tour, as the season is about to start, training camp now, less than a week away. And I'll say this, and I'll go back to saying this. If Anders Lee would have been healthy for the playoffs, I think there is a good chance the Islanders beat the Lightning. Now, look, if Anders Lee stayed healthy, the caveat is you probably wouldn't have Kyle Palmieri and Travis Zajac. That trade most likely would not have happened the way it did if Lee would have remained healthy. You can't tell me that if Anders Lee was on that roster in the playoffs, that he wouldn't have been able to make the difference for that one goal that held the Islanders back. The one goal that prevented them from having a chance to force overtime in Game 7 against the Lightning and maybe from advancing to the Stanley Cup final for the first time since 1984. It is time for the New York Islanders to get a healthy captain, a healthy Anders Lee. It will help on the scoreboard. It will help on the power play. And I think most importantly, he will help make this team more cohesive and just give them a better chance. He's clutch, he's skilled, he's big, and having Anders Lee back in the fold, in my mind, is a big plus for the New York Islanders as we head into the 2021-2022 NHL season. So it was great to see him back on the ice. Just the sight of Anders Lee really was a relief for Islander fans. And again, I think we'll see a lot of him this year. If he stays healthy, it'll make a big difference for the New York Islanders. This episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it is now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. So why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questions and wait while the person behind the counter orders the parts on their computer, choosing only the brand their warehouse happens to carry? You have computers with access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. Why choose to spend 30, 50, or even 100% more from the same parts from a chain store or car dealership when you can go to rockauto.com? It's a family business. They've been serving do-it-yourselfers online for over 20 years. Their prices are reliably low and the same for every customer. They have everything you could need: brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, even a new carpet. And you can check out their easy-to-use website and find your solution to all your auto parts needs. Go to rockauto.com right now. See all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in there. How did you hear about us box so they know we sent you? Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by your friends at Built Bar. Do you know that Built Bar has so many delicious flavors? There really is something for everyone. And when you talk to a Built Bar fan, they're passionate about their favorites. Favorites like coconut, raspberry, mint brownie, double chocolate, cookies and cream, cherry barcia, my personal favorite, salted caramel. That sweet and salty combination, oh, I love it. I really do. And if you haven't tried all the flavors, you can get a mixed box where you get 2 of each of the 9 permanent flavors so you can figure out which are your favorites. Not only are Built Bar flavors the best tasting, they're healthy too. Check out the macros. Every bar has between 17 and 18 grams of protein. The calories, just 130 to 180 per bar, just 4 or 5 grams of sugar, and only 4 to 5 grams of net carbs. Amazing flavors, all tasty, all healthy, and Built Bar is the official protein bar of the U.S. track and field team. Right now, go to built.com. That's built.com. Use the promo code LOCK15 and you'll get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com. Time now for our Islanders birthday of the day. We're going to go back to a player who was with the Islanders in the 90s on a wish a very 55th birthday to former Islanders forward Tom Chorsky. Drafted first round, 16th overall by the Montreal Canadiens back in 1985. Played 3 years at the University of Minnesota before joining the Habs in the 1989-90 season. Moved on to the Devils in 1991, two seasons in Ottawa, and the New York Islanders in 1997. 98, played that full with the Islanders and then part of the 98-99 season. And after leaving the Islanders, played briefly for Washington, Pittsburgh, before hanging up his skates after 1 year in the IH Houston Aeros in 2002. Chorsky's NHL career stats: 596 games, 115 goals, 237 points, and 225 penalty minutes. He was a player. He played 50 playoff games, 5 goals, 17 points in those. His longest playoff run coming in 1994-95 when he was part of the Devils' first Stanley Cup winning team. So a Stanley Cup winner. Chorsky in Ames with the Islanders in 97-98, 12 goals, 35 points, and he was a +7. We're going to go back and look at one of his better game. The Islanders, March 18th, 1998, at the Corrals, Ottawa. Islanders, the Senators. Wade Flaherty is the goalie for the New York Islanders, while Damian Rhodes got start for the Senators in this contest. And getting on the board first, Hero was off for high stick, but the Islanders got a shorthanded goal. Point, who was always good with shorthanded goals. His 8th, Canada's up 1-0. Then late in the period of the day, Tom Chorsky, his 11th, unassisted 34. After period, it was 2-0 Islanders. In the third, the Islanders' power play gets going with future Islander Alexei Yashin in the box for hooking. Kenny Janssen pots his 12th of the year. Zygmunt Powell, Robert Reichel with the assist at 6:26. It's 3-0 Islanders. They look like they're in the driver's seat. In the third, the Islanders get on the board. Again, Tom Chorsky, our Islanders' birthday of the day. Another unassisted goal, his 12th of the year, second of the game, 4-0 in favor of the Isles. But the Islanders couldn't hold it. First, Magnus Arvidsson, his 6th. Yashin at 21, 4-1 Islanders. Wade Redden, his 8th. From Daniel Alfredsson, 11-4. Lead is cut to 4-2. Sean McEachern, a minute and a half later, makes it 4-3. 20th from Daniel Alfredsson and Vinny Prospal. And then with a minute and a half left, the Islanders shorthanded for a too-many-men penalty. And Sergei Zlatov, his 9th from Igor Kravchuk and Andreas at 18:32. This game ends in a 4-4 tie for Tom Chorsky, birthday of the day. 2 goals, a +1. He had 4 shots on goal and played 20 minutes and 32 seconds of ice time. Wade Flaherty, 38 saves. The Islanders were outshot in this one, 40-24. But because of the good goaltending of Wade Flaherty and 2 goals, they with 4-4 tie. So again, a very happy and healthy Tom Chorsky. He is our birthday of the day. And again, we will be back on a full Monday through Friday schedule, so you could listen to us on your way to or from work every day. starting next Monday, and we are certainly looking forward to that. Betting on the Islanders doesn't have to be a guessing game. If you listen to the new Locked On Bets podcast, it's hosted by your boy Q and handicapping expert Lee Sterling. Get daily picks, blowout specials, wrong team favorite picks, and Lee Sterling's lock of the day. Follow the Locked On Bets podcast, brought to you by betonline.ag, wherever you get podcasts. That's going to do it for this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. And of course, let's go Islanders.